Hey Wealth Builders! My name is Mishak.
And I'm Akiva.
And welcome back to another episode of the Bemused. And on this channel, we talk about all things personal finance for young adults just like you and us.
So if you're into that kind of stuff, go on ahead and hit that big red subscribe button. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell so you never miss when we post new valuable videos just like this one.
And in this video, we're going to be going over our net worth update. So we're going to be going over quarter 4 for 2020, and at the time of this recording, we know it's probably a little late, but we're sorry for keeping you waiting, and we're going to get into it. So like normal, we start with our balance sheet, and excuse me if you see me looking down or Akiva, we're actually just referencing numbers. So we're going to start with our assets. Let's start with cash and money market. So we had a total of $68,816 in cash. For liquid investments and retirement accounts, we had $46,921. And then for our home, which we're currently recording in at this moment, we have $242,000. Then we're going to go down to personal property. And in this section, we have first our cars. So that is valued at $9,450. And then for personal business property, we have estimated value for the camera and all the things that we use to shoot the YouTube content at around $500, which is pretty, stable with what we've been reporting for the past couple of quarters. So our total assets are $367,687.
Now let's move down to our liabilities section. Of course, the assets number right now, especially now that we have our house, sounds really great. But let's see what happens when we subtract all the things we owe. First up is our largest debt, which is our mortgage. And our mortgage as of December 31st, the balance was $230,703. Then we have credit cards. And we say this every time, but it's important to note for those of you who are new that we do not carry credit card debt. This is just what happened to be the balance on our various credit cards as of December 31st, because we want to take that into account and subtract it from our assets. So as of December 31st, we actually had a pretty large credit card balance sitting on our various credit cards. I think we have like 8 credit cards between the two of us. And that balance as of that day was $7,782. We've been doing a lot of spending, you guys, and we'll talk about that more in the change in net worth section when we get there. Then we have our second largest debt, which is our student loans, which the current balance stands at $163,350. So our total liabilities right now stand at $401,835, which brings us to a net worth when we take our assets and subtract our liabilities of negative $34,148. Now that on its face seems like a really terrible number, but let's put it in context and see where we were last quarter, September 30th, 2020, and the progress or the backtracking we've done since then as of December 31st, 2020. And in this video, we're actually going to be going over our net worth change from 2 years ago when we started tracking our net worth, December 31st of 2018, and showing our progress since then. So this will be a super special episode.
Going back to our assets section, in cash and money markets, back in September of 2020, we had $58,551. By December 31st, 2020, we had $68,816. That is a change of $10,265 or 18%. The explanation for that is we had money set aside for debt repayment as well as business profits. So you guys probably saw that video where we paid off some of our student loan debt literally at the last minute in 2020, but that's why we had so much cash. We actually still have quite a bit of it because we haven't really made much payments yet towards student loans.
Thank you, forbearance. The other part of that increase was business growth. So right now we are in the middle of launch season for the Adulting Bootcamp, and so naturally we had a bit of an influx of cash because I had an early enrollment period that opened in December. So as students were enrolling, we were getting cash in the door. That also helped contribute to our larger cash balance because our cash balance also includes the cash that is in our business.
Next, liquid investments and retirement plans. So,
Fun one.
So in September 30th, 2020, we had about $37,657, and by December 31st, 2020, we had $46,921. So that is a positive change of $9,264 or 25%, which is actually, I think, really good considering that everyone's retirements were doing some interesting things toward the beginning of 2020, that we were able to have such a positive rebound by the end of the year, and contributions equal from both of us jointly $3,395.40.
So that was about $6,000 of market gains over the past 3 months, which is
really impressive.
Wild.
Yeah. Next, this new section on here is our home. So back in September 30th, 2020, we actually purchased the home July, so that's why it's on there for the last 2 quarters. The value did not change, so saw $242,000. And we had that for September 30th, 2020, and the same amount for December 30th, 2020. So zero change there. Next, we're going to go into personal property. So we're going to start with our cars. And back in September 30th of 2020, the value of both of our vehicles was around $9,670. And of course, you guys know that these things fluctuate. So the estimated value by December 31st, 2020 is $9,450. So that is a negative change, loss of about $220 or 2%. And I'm pretty sure that probably comes from my car. The fluctuations of the up and down. Akiva's car probably not so much.
It actually was both. So I was putting these numbers together. 2020 was a really weird year. Usually cars tend to just depreciate very regularly, so typical quarter you'll see a couple $100 off of the value each quarter, but in 2020 they were doing this roller coaster thing where they were going up. Sometimes they were going up, they were going down, so I guess now things have kind of reset themselves where now we're seeing a more typical depreciation trend. So we'll see what keeps happening. I just put what the internet tells me, y'all, so I ain't gonna fight it.
And finally, we have our personal property, which, as we mentioned, personal and business property, sorry. And as I mentioned, we know that is the items that we use to record these videos, and that has remained pretty constant at $500 for quite some time now. So looking at 0% change there.
And that's a very conservative number. I mean, this also does, he says it's like business property, but it also does include personal property. Like if we ever were in a bind, there were things in our home we could sell if we ever needed to make money. So we always just put in this $500 kind of buffer because those things are assets. And the things that we actually have in our home now and in our business, we made a good amount of business related purchases toward the end of the year. And we also bought different things in our home. As you guys know, we've been furnishing the house, buying different things. So realistically, we could get more than $500 if we were really in a bind, if we need to sell some of this stuff. But that is just what we're choosing to keep as our consistent buffer in the event that we ever wanted or needed to sell some things to make some extra cash.
So let's head into total assets. So at the end of September 30th, 2020, our total assets were $348,378. So pretty good. And at the end of December 31st, 2020, our total assets were $367,687. So that is a positive change of $19,309 or about 6%. So that is actually really good.
Really good. Now let's see where our liabilities are, because our liabilities for the first time in a while have really increased a little bit. So let's see where that came from. So our mortgage at the end of September, the balance was $231,917. Now it's $230,703. So that's about a $1,200 increase in, our equity in the home, essentially. $1,200 decrease in our mortgage balance, which is like 1%, super tiny, but still better than just money that's going down the drain. Our credit cards, this is really what made the biggest change this quarter, because at the end of September we had $2,173 on our credit cards, and like I mentioned, now we have $7,782 on our credit cards, so that was $5,608 more, which is like a ridiculous percentage more, when you look at it from a percentage standpoint. But that's really what drove up our liabilities this quarter. Our student loans, as you guys know, we made a payment that was equal to the amount of accrued interest on our accounts, which was about $835, literally on December 30th or 31st, somewhere in that range. And so our balance has gone down from $164,184 down to $163,350, which again is like a positive change of like 1% because it's such a large number, but it's still progress. So overall, our liabilities increased from $398,275 up to $401,835, which is an increase of just over $3,500. So like I said, primarily due to that credit card. But again, like we mentioned, we do pay off our balances in full and on time every month. So I think it bears repeating. So all in all, our total net worth this quarter increased by $15,749. It went up from -49, basically rounding, -50,000 up to -34,000. And that is an increase of 32%, you guys. I was shook when I put these numbers together. I was like checking and double checking. I'm like, is this right? Like, did it really go up this much? But when I really look back as to what happened this quarter, like we mentioned, the money we've been setting aside, you know, which is basically almost $3,000 a month, and our business growth because of the enrollment that we've had, and you know, the little bit of student loans we did pay, like it does all make sense, and we really did. And the you know, investment growth being crazy this quarter, $15,749 was the positive result of all of that stuff. And this is actually a conservative number because none of this actually includes some refunds that we were expecting. So technically our net worth is probably a couple thousand more than this, and we're not accounting for that right now. So we are super happy with this progress that we made over the past quarter, this like massive jump, which is so exciting because usually first quarter of the year, usually our March net worth updates, we usually see increases like this because of various things that routinely happen in the beginning of the year, whether that's tax refunds, bonuses from work, stimulus checks. Let's hope. So now, let us take a nice stroll down memory lane and see where we started 2 years ago and really just see how far we've come. So I made a little line graph here. It's gonna be popping up on the screen. And it shows where our net worth was December 31st of 2018 and where it is now December 31st of 2020. So on December 31st, 2018, our net worth was -$114,614, you guys. So y'all, we started at -$114,000 and we are up to -$34,000, you guys, over the past 2 years. And you guys can see little bumps along the way to see like where we went up, where we went down. I think we had one quarter where we backtracked maybe like $1,000. It wasn't even like anything too crazy, but we have consistently increased our net worth over the past 2 years because of the financial decisions that we've made. In these 2 years, we had a lot of life happen.
Yeah. We paid for a wedding.
Yes.
We went on a honeymoon. We went on a trip to Europe, which you guys saw in our vlog. We did a lot.
And
we
the
did
other
a lot
last
of
cruise
like
that we did.
mini trips in between. Like there was a lot going on in a 2-year time frame. So to still see that despite the current situation that everyone's in, that our retirement accounts were able to bounce back like that in that quarter, where our cash flow was kind of able to recuperate after, like I said, paying for a wedding and buying a house, that, you know, is really amazing to see and truly a blessing.
It is. It definitely is. Just thinking back on all the decisions that, you know, we've made, and it just goes to show that you can still live your life while still
paying off debt,
while still, you know, making significant financial progress. So, you know, we have increased our income over these 2 years. Don't get me wrong. Our income has increased from, you know, just from our day jobs, whether that's incremental raises and bonuses and things like that. I also, you know, with this business, our income has increased a little bit, and in our next video, I'll actually be doing the full online income report for all of our business income for 2020, so you guys can see kind of what happened with that and how much money we ended up making. But between all of those things, being able to maintain our income during the pandemic, which is a blessing in and of itself, you know, like all of these things have contributed to our positive net worth progress. And it's not to say that we make buku money by any stretch of the imagination. Like, we're not out here making 6 figures each or anything like that, not at all. But between the favor of God that we've been able to maintain our employment, increase our earnings just, you know, a little bit over time, and also just making smart money decisions, we're still able to make this significant progress. $80,000 of a net worth increase in 2 years, you guys, 70% increase. Like, we are very happy with where we are. And so hopefully this year, like we mentioned in our goals video, we hope to be in positive net worth territory finally in 2021. And I'm really excited about that. And I can see it. It's so close. And we're just really excited with the progress that we made. And one more thing, I know last net worth update, we promised you guys a net worth template to download. So yes, we are delivering. The link will be in the description box if you guys want to download a net worth template so you can go ahead and track your net worth along with us.
So thank you so much for watching this video. We really appreciate you. Comment down below what you think about everything that you've heard in this video. Tell us, you know, what you think about the way how we're calculating these net worth updates each quarter. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Some people out there don't think that a house is an asset that you should include.
It definitely is.
It is, but you know, I agree with that, but I'm just saying, you know, we all have different opinions on the way that these things should be calculated. So comment down below. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll do our best to try and get back to each and every comment, as we promise pretty much all the time. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss when we post new content. As we've said before, we have a lot of videos that we have planned that are coming out very soon, and you don't want to miss them. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.